Hey, hi.
Hi Shubra, how are you?
I'm very well. How are you? Can you hear me clearly?
Yes, we can hear you clearly and we're right on 5:15, so that's amazing. Um,
Yes, I've.
we have a lot of people joining us, so I'll give a quick
Mhm.
introduction about Shubra. So thank you so much, Shubra, for joining us. Shubra is a aromatherapist. She strongly believes in mind, body, soul connection. She's done a lot of research on essential oils and how they help in energy healing. Now, in this session, we're going to talk about how essential oils predominantly work with PCOS symptoms and how they can help you in healing. So very, very interesting. And I want to quickly also tell our viewers that how I came across essential oils. When I met Shubra's mother in one of the, farmers market, and she just told me that, use geranium oil for your PCOS, and it worked wonders. And I still go by it. Like it's been more than 2 years. And I started to believe in this alternate therapies and sort of work like magic. And I thought our viewers will be very interested to know more. So, Shubra, I will give it back to you now to tell us everything on essential oils, probably to start with what really works with essential oils and how does
Mhm.
it affect our body and, our mind and soul.
For sure. Firstly, Nidhi, I want to congratulate you for what you are doing because this journey cannot be easy. And it's whenever we go through such complications in life, there are two routes that you can take. And one is being victim, and one is getting up and taking in charge of yourself and your own health and connecting back to yourself. And I think what you're doing for the community is absolutely amazing, and the awareness that you're putting out there is really good. So I want to thank you for what you're doing, and I'm
Thank
I'm really
you.
grateful to be here with you today.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And
Okay,
sorry, I will just take another moment before you
sure,
start. So,
sure,
guys,
sure.
whoever is listening, we are going to talk about many things during the next 30 minutes. And if you have any specific questions, we're going to take in the next, 15-20 minutes. We'll take two breaks in between. So please pop in your questions and we'll ask them with Shubra. And we are going to talk about, diffusing oil, how to use them, everything about it. So please stay tuned with us until the end of the session. So, Shubra, back to you now.
Sure. So I have a few notes here, so don't mind if I keep looking down there and then
Sure, sure.
responding to you.
Yeah.
So basically, I'm going to start off with what are essential oils. Okay, essential oils are steam distilled from different parts of plants, from flowering tops, from leaves, from twigs, branches, bark, etc. And for example, like in Ayurveda, every herb has a different benefit. Similarly, each essential oil has its own property. Okay, so the usage of these beautiful plant portions for the body, mind, and soul is what's commonly known as aromatherapy. Now, a lot of you hear a lot of aromatherapy of late, and there are a lot of international brands that are involved in aromatherapy. And the problem that comes in is mostly about the quality of the essential oil. So,
Yeah.
aromatherapy isn't just about fragrance, it's about connecting with natural plants and learning about their properties and using them correctly. I'm hearing a feedback loop. Is the voice clear with you?
Yeah, it's perfect, guys.
Okay, okay,
In the
cool.
audience, can you hear us both okay? Can you just give a shout that if it's okay? Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
it's all
sure,
fine.
cool. If you can hear it, it's fine. Yeah. So, there are lots of different ways to use essential oils. One is diffusion. So, diffusion, for example, you use small diffusers like these. You can get large ones also. You fill them up with water. They're really cute and they look really nice also. You add a small candle down. So, you can add a small tea light candle, fill it up with water, and add a few drops of whichever essential oil you feel like adding. Okay, so this is one way. Another way is I have a humidifier right here, so I can show it to you. That's my humidifier, okay?
Yeah.
So that's another way to diffuse essential oils. This is the latest technology that we have with essential oils, and there's no burning of essential oil when you're using a humidifier, and it does not heat up the essential oil, so it diffuses much better into the air. Okay, so these are two ways you can diffuse. Another way, the next way that you can use essential oils is through application. Okay. Essential oils are really, really, really strong. To give you perspective, it takes about 25 pounds of, 25 kgs of rose petals to distill a 15 ml bottle of rose essential oil. So
Wow.
most people who are, yeah, who are always worried about how pure essential oils are super expensive. Yes, they're expensive because you need a large amount of produce to steam distill a very small amount of essential oil. So when you're
Um,
using them on the body, you need to dilute them in a base oil. A base oil would be anything from apricot to coconut to sesame. It's you choose a base oil mostly based on your skin type. Yeah. So for say for more sensitive skin, if you're using something on the face, uh, you use something like jojoba. If you're using something for dry skin, something like apricot or sweet almond works really well. So if you want more directions on that, you can reach out to me on Meraki Essentials and I'll reply to you there. Okay. Apart
okay.
from that, a lot of people make stuff like foot soaks. They take some warm water in a basin with some Epsom salt, which boosts your magnesium level, and add some essential oils into it. You can also add some dried rose petals that you have at home, or I put some lavender buds. It becomes a very, very relaxing sort of experience. These are just very few things. You can add a drop into your bath water. For example, you've taken a shower, and before you step out, in a small mug, you can fill in some water, add a few drops of the essential oil, and just put it over you. It's a very, very nice experience, and uh, plants have a very beautiful way of interacting with us and changing our mood. I'm going to go further into that now. Okay,
So,
so these are few
Shubhra,
aspects.
before
Sure.
you go into the next segment, uh, can you also explain by giving very few examples, the ones you shared? Yes. So let's talk
Mm-hmm.
about some symptoms where I want to pick up PMS and painful periods where most of
Mm-hmm.
us relate, right? So if you pick up a
Right.
few essential oils, how does it make you feel if you use one or two combinations and diffuse it? What
Mm-hmm.
is the impact and what kind of effect can one expect?
Sure. So basically, when you inhale essential oils, the odor molecules go in from your nasal passage and they get in touch with the olfactory membrane. The olfactory membrane directly gets in touch with the limbic system. Now, I'm sure you've heard of the limbic system and how important it is to us, all of us, because it helps balance hormones. It's pretty much known as the emotional brain, and it helps even with stuff like blood. It helps regulate blood pressure, breathing, all of that. So pretty much within the first 5 seconds of inhaling an essential oil, there's a direct connection from the olfactory membrane to your brain, to the limbic system. So it's really fast. And the other side that gets in touch with is the cerebral cortex, which is basically so the olfactory membrane is the first of the few senses that gets in touch with the cerebral cortex at that faster rate. So that's why the sense of smell is something that science is still trying to understand how beautifully it works. But again, smells are something that are very, very specific. Okay. So,
Yeah.
for example, I might love a lavender and somebody else might not
Yeah.
like it at all.
Yeah.
So, it
Yeah.
needs to be a pleasant experience for you. Okay. In terms of hormonal balancing, floral essential oils are the best. So, you stick to, say, Clary Sage, you stick to geranium, you stick to lavender, and they're super relaxing and really, really good for you.
Yeah, I
Also,
mean,
there's,
I feel that the thing that you said, that everybody has their own sense of smell. Somebody may
yep.
find lavender very irritating, but somebody may like,
Mm-hmm.
I love lavender. For me, lavender and coconut oil go really well in my hair oil, but my
Yep.
husband doesn't love it. So
Mm-hmm.
and so does my sister. So, but
Right.
again, you have to find what pleases you and then probably
For
include
sure.
them. And as you said, that application is very important. If you choose a hair oil, or say if you want to put on your face, it really depends what kind of base oil you choose. So
Yep.
yeah, I mean, just wanted to give my piece that my
Mm-hmm.
experience of using such oils is also personalized because I love them. And certain
Mm-hmm.
oils you use in the room in the diffuser, they also give you a very relaxing bit. As you said, that they have a deep
Yep.
connection with your cortex, right? And that
Yep.
helps you sort of stress down, probably when you're about to sleep, just light that candle which has those essential oils or diffuse them, so it works really well.
Right.
So yeah,
Yep.
going on to the next segment, as you mentioned, back to you.
Sure. So now we were talking about the limbic system. I just want to, because it makes a lot of sense for you guys, I just wanted to go into it a little bit. Now, the limbic system is what manages emotions, memories, bodily functions like blood pressure, breathing patterns, and even fear responses and sensory information. So when your body shifts from relaxed to fight or flight, and that hormonal change happens inside you, and the disruption happens, that is also handled by the limbic system. Okay.
Yeah.
On the other hand, when the vagus nerve gets in touch back with the limbic system about whatever's happening in the body, again, it releases the right hormones for things to get back in, say, synergy. So it's important to understand this, that from say, there's a vagus nerve, it connects from the back of your neck to the limbic system, right? So what you can do is you can mix certain essential oils that you like, say something that's super relaxing, this frankincense and lavender. On a day that you're getting super stressed or anxious, mix it with a base oil, apply a little bit under your nose, a little bit on your temples and at the nape of your neck, right here where the vagus nerve is. Do you know there's a dip at the back of your neck? So
Yeah.
that's where the vagus nerve is. So you could just apply it there and touch it. They basically soothe it like you would a baby, and it helps really, really calm down the system and move back from fight to flight to relaxed again. And that immediately changes again the hormonal situation in your body, okay, which I find super interesting. Okay.
That's amazing. Very interesting. Okay.
Yes. Um, Then what else? Okay, so apart from this aspect, when you inhale essential oils, they obviously also get in touch with your lungs, and they get in touch with your sinuses, and they get in touch with your nasal passage. And a lot of them are really good antibacterials, antifungals, antivirals, especially in today's day and age. It's important to speak about this because they have a really, really good effect on the lungs, and they can help decongest a lot of stuff that's stuck up between the nasal passage and the throat. Okay.
Okay, amazing.
And
Because I think since you mentioned this, the sinus part, and a lot of women also experience migraines with PCOS. I
right,
just also
right.
posted about it this morning. So, what do you
Yeah.
recommend? What are the special oils that everybody would like? I mean, if they don't have time to sort of test, that you would know that, okay, these are as per your experience and as your customers, like what have they really liked and what have, which oils have helped them in their migraines?
Out and out lavender.
Okay.
Lavender is really, really good for migraines. It works really well. It also, most people who get migraines like to kind of unwind after that. They like to sleep for a while, or, at least lay down for half an hour. So it relaxes the system and helps you kind of unwind. So it works exceedingly well. But if you're not a fan of lavender, oils like eucalyptus and peppermint also work really well.
Okay, and how many drops are you, going to suggest? So if you talk about one bottle, the small bottle, how
Mm-hmm.
much do you get in that, and what do you expect? Like until how much time
Sure,
does it last, and how many drops do you
sure,
use?
sure. So essential oils don't go bad easily. Okay, so they have a shelf life of almost 5 years if they're kept properly. So if you don't you keep them in a cool and a dark place, then they're good for 5 years. Make sure that the lid is on tight, and each essential oil bottle has about 200 to 250 odd drops, depending on their consistency. So some essential oils are slightly more thick, so they'll have lesser drops. Okay. When you use these, for example, you're asking me about migraines. What you can do is say in a small bottle, you could fill it up with some coconut oil. Yeah. Depending on the size of the bottle, say it's you could even make something like a lip balm. I don't know if you have an empty lip balm bottle, fill it up with some coconut oil and add
Okay.
just about 2 to 3 drops of lavender, and that's enough. You just pull a
Okay.
little bit out of it and apply it on your temples as and when. So, which means a small bottle can last you even up to a year, and the lesser you use, the better in essential oils. You don't have to go all out and use, because you also have to care about the sustainability aspect of the plant. If you're saying that 22 to 23 kgs of lavender buds are being used for such a small amount of lavender, it's our personal responsibility also to use as little as possible.
That's a very nice thought. Yeah, I
Yep.
kind of
Yep.
agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and since I know a lot of women have asked these questions to me before, what is the secret oil for hair fall? Like, do you recommend some
Yep.
essential oils which go really well for your hair fall?
Sure, it's rosemary. So rosemary, if you read up on rosemary, is really, really helpful for basically stimulating hair follicles and helping in growth of new hair. So it's really good. We've got some really good results with it. It'll be a good idea if you add in some lavender with it in case you have certain issues like dandruff. It helps clear up the scalp of that. So you could make certain blends. Similarly, you could also add, say, some cedar wood into it. If you add cedar wood, what happens is while rosemary is working its magic with the follicles, cedar wood will hydrate the scalp. So when they both work together in synergy, it becomes a really beautiful blend. And for
That's
the
very
scalp,
interesting.
yeah, for the scalp, castor and coconut as a base oil is a great idea. Apricot also works really well. And for everyone who's listening, if you want all these recipes, we are going to work on a blog together. So we're going to make sure all of this is down there so you don't need to stress. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
And since we're talking about mixing oils, right? Is there
Mm-hmm.
any trick that you would suggest that, okay, these oils work really well, or there is some tip to understand, okay, these are the two oils I would never mix? Is there a rule of
So
thumb?
frankly, there are a lot of recipes available online, and it's better if you check with them. So aromatherapy is it's actually a science, and it's good to not try too much, and mixing more than 3 to 4 essential oils doesn't make so much sense. So 4 oils at max, but mostly based on properties. So for example, you're using something for pain relief, right? So you add 3 essential oils into it, one that handles pain, one that handles inflammation, and the third one that handles blood circulation. So you go based on property mostly.
Okay, understood,
Yep.
understood. And also, a lot of people had these questions, and I saw one of those questions is that can you use oils on the face? Now, that is a completely different
Mm-hmm.
topic of how we,
Yep.
the face oils and all these work. But I feel in that also, like I use geranium oil, like 2 drops on my serum, and I feel that it
Mm-hmm.
really helped me with my acne. But
Right.
that would
Right.
differ from person to person. But what do you have to say about acne and essential oils?
Sure. So actually, what happens is using an oil on your face, you just firstly need to understand your skin type. And that's the most important part of it.
Mhm.
If you have oily skin, using a low comedogenic level oil is really, really helpful. So that's basically oils like hemp seed, pomegranate seed, jojoba, jojoba, whatever you want to call it. They're
Yeah.
really, really good for sensitive skin. If you want something for dry skin, something like apricot or sweet almond work really well.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. We definitely need
So
to
it's
put all these together. Yeah.
please,
Uh,
there's no problem. Very happy to put it out to you. No worries. Okay, so
okay.
you were asking me about acne now. One sec. So so okay, yeah. So now most people that we're talking to here is people above the age of 22, 23, right? So most of the acne that they are getting, yeah, mostly, see, if the acne is happening due to, say, bacterial issues or fungal issues, then stuff like tea tree and lavender work really well. Um, but if it's happening due to hormonal issues, using juniper berry and lavender together work really well. You can add some frankincense in there as well. And you could also mix it in some aloe vera. If you are somebody who's a little worried about using oils on your face, okay, you're reluctant, you want to start in some time, then you can mix it up in some aloe vera. But just make sure that you stir the bottle once before using it on your skin, because essential oils are not water soluble, so they don't mix very well with aloe vera.
Understood. So,
Lots.
Shubhra, there is somebody on the page, Anaika J. She
Yeah,
says, are there any essential oils which can be applied directly instead of the carrier oil? If so, which ones?
sure. There are only 2 essential oils that can be applied directly on skin. One is lavender and tea tree, but both of them should only be used for spot treatment. So they shouldn't be applied over a large area of the skin. But for example, you have some acne or a pimple that's come up. You could put some on an earbud and just use it for spot treatment directly on the pimple. That's it.
Perfect. Thank you. A
Yep.
lot of questions on the oily skin and adult skin. I think we just answered that, and this video will be on YouTube very shortly, so you can watch the rerun. Uh,
Mhm.
I'm looking at more questions, but till the time, probably, Shubra, we can go back to the next segment of yours.
Sure. Okay. So just give me a second. Mm. Okay. So there's somebody who had asked me. Okay. So there are two really important essential oils for people on your page. Okay. One is Clary Sage. So Clary Sage is known to mimic estrogen. Okay. But it mimics estrogen only when it's needed in the body. Okay. So you can read up on this on Dr. Robert Tisserin's page. He's one of the main scientists who's working in this field and is doing a lot of research. Okay. So Clary Sage is really good for mimicking estrogen. And progesterone, thyme. Thyme is really good for balancing that in the body. So if you guys want to make a blend that is specific to yourself, I would suggest adding some clary sage and thyme into a base oil with something like a lang lang or a geranium. Okay, it's a foolproof plan for handling all of the issues, and it will really work very well as a hormone balancer. So that's what I thought would be super important for you guys.
There's
Yeah,
somebody
apart from
on
that,
the. Sorry, just finish
no
what you're
problem,
saying.
go for it. No,
Okay,
no, no, go for
so
it.
Pavni Mittal, she says, what oil to apply for extreme dry skin for kids?
How old are the kids? I need to know. So basically, using essential oils on kids below the age of 6, in fact, almost 12, you should try and avoid, because kids have beautiful skin, right? But if you really have to use something, I would suggest using coconut oil with a little bit of lavender or a little bit of cedarwood. 1% dilution is more than enough for children. 8
Perfect.
years, too young. Please stick only to coconut oil.
And she
Yeah.
also asked how to use this mix. So I think you said that you can apply it on the various points on your face and on your
Yeah,
neck.
temples and at the back of the neck. Yes, at the nape of the neck. Yep.
Okay. Somebody
The
wants to
key
ask is what oils do we can use for pigmentation?
pigmentation, the really good blend that we work with is a blend of geranium and juniper berry with golden jojoba or golden jojoba. That blend works really well. We've got some really good feedback. So this is obviously what I've studied, but apart from this, feedback is super important for us, and we've got some really good uh, how to say feedbacks for this blend.
Lovely.
Yes.
So somebody says, can they be used for endometriosis and PCOD too? So I think what we are discussing right now is essentially about hormone health. So even
Yes.
if you have endo, PCOD or thyroid, these oils predominantly work to reduce your stress and anxiety issues. So it's not specific to a lifestyle, disorder specifically. You can use it in general, like women usually who are multitaskers and they need a little break in their daily routine. I think
Yep.
including them as a routine, like I feel that I have a part of the day, probably in the night when I'm about to retire to the bed, I spend like 10 minutes just using these oils and giving myself a nice face massage. Or if you think that you are spending a lot of time in, working from home, why not just give yourself a little break, breathe, apply these oils, take a, 15-20 minute nap. It really energizes you. That really works, like for me as well. Like, Shubra, you can share your personal experience. I mean, that will be really amazing too.
With essential oils.
Yeah.
Oh, frankly, it's taken me on a whole new journey, man. Like it's been amazing. And the thing is, when you start becoming more and more conscious about your lifestyle, it starts with one aspect, which has been essential oils for me, and it's helped me reconnect back to myself and made me more conscious about every aspect of my life. So, for example, whenever anxiety is starting to come in, it switches on this, I know which oil to use for it. So I start this feedback loop with myself. So for example, I'm using some Lang Lang to help soothe the anxiety. I'm kind of communicating with myself that, hey, you know what? I'm not running away from this. I'm acknowledging what's happening inside me. And it's okay. I understand that you're overwhelmed. I'm going to help you rest a little bit. So it starts this feedback with yourself, which I don't think a lot of us have. Like when you're caught up in your daily life and you're working in a corporate job, which I was earlier, it was really stressful and I wasn't eating right. So it's introduced me to a whole new world, man. I'm super grateful, and most of all because I work with my family. My father has been doing this for over 2 decades now. He has some amazing experience in this field, and there's so many amazing moments we've shared together. So many amazing um, we've taken part in a lot of amazing farmers markets. We've met a lot of other amazing people who are doing some great stuff. So yeah,
Thank you
it's
so
been
much for
really
sharing
cool.
your journey. Yeah, that's really good
Yep.
to know. So we are almost around the end of our session. Anything
Mm-hmm.
that you specifically want to also share? I think we also discussed that we're going to talk about, authenticity, understanding what
Sure.
oils are, genuine. Uh,
Yes.
any tips that you would like to share?
Sure. So I'm going to do a quick through for whatever other notes I had. Okay.
Yeah.
So I just want to talk about how whenever you have any emotional issues coming up, whether it's anger, anxiety, stress, mood swings, a lot of essential oils like lavender, frankincense, lang lang, and geranium can be used. What is really fantastic to do is to make a list of things that trigger you. And whenever you feel something like that coming in, you count backwards from five, four, three, two, one, and smell a nice essential oil. Okay, as you keep doing this, slowly the triggers will reduce. Okay, now second thing is a lot of us go through bloating issues, right?
Hmm.
So using a little bit of juniper berry and peppermint with the base oil and applying it on the abdomen gives a lot of relief. Okay.
Okay.
um for insomnia, lavender and lang lang work really well. For restlessness, you could make a nice foot soak for yourself with some Epsom salt and an essential oil. For painful periods, a blend of cypress and geranium in a base oil is what helps really, really well. You could also add some marjoram into it if you like.
What about
Okay.
eucalyptus? Can that be added too, or that
So
is something that
eucalyptus
it should?
helps.
Hmm.
See, frankly, if it speaks to you, I love eucalyptus personally, okay? And it has some really good properties. And if it gives you relief, fantastic. But cypress and geranium is what I hear to work really well in combination together, because cypress is a very good antispasmodic. And that's what's usually happening here. So it really helps with that. Then for brain fog, you were just talking about brain fog, I think, which happens to a lot of us again. So diffusing some rosemary. Rosemary is known to help with memory, like really, really good. There's research on this. So diffuse some rosemary, some peppermint. It'll help with brain fog. You were saying something. Sorry.
I was just wanted to ask that do you have any people who women who are about to conceive? Is there any caution that they should apply from pre and postnatal?
Sure. So actually, usage of essential oils is not a very great idea when you're pregnant. And if you are using them, please stick only to lavender, frankincense, and cedarwood at max, and blend them in 1% dilution. No more than one. In fact, lesser than one makes much more sense.
Yeah,
Okay.
because
Which
I
would
feel that it
mean,
can get tricky, especially like in the postnatal where the women get really, really stressful and the hormones
so
start to be.
postnatal, you can use oils like, say, peppermint and ginger for nausea through pregnancy. A lot of actually gynecologists send people over to us for this aspect. But there are a lot of essential, there are almost already so many hormonal changes that are going on in your body. So it doesn't make
Hmm.
sense to introduce more that are going to mess it up. So it's best to stay away. But if you are anxious, then lavender and frankincense is what you swear by. That'll be
Okay,
the best ones to go with. Yeah.
okay,
Okay. So
okay.
again, for scanty periods is
Hmm.
another one that I have. So this I'm telling you out of experience. Okay. So my mom gave geranium to somebody, and we were at Dastakar, and we'd put up a stall. And she was there. I think the next month that we were doing it again, she found us and she's like, "Oh my God, geranium's so amazing!" And we were like, "Yeah, it is. whatever. And then she's like, no, but you guys don't get it. Like my periods have gotten regulated because of it. So they've been coming month and month at the same time, which is absolutely amazing. If that kind of a change can happen. So whether you're using geranium in your
That means,
diffuser or you're using it as a face oil, oh, it was
yeah,
you. Was it?
it
Oh,
had, no, 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 it was
it
not
was
me, but
okay, okay, okay,
I
okay.
also had that story where geranium helped me with my acne a lot and my period pain. So I swear by it too.
Super. That's so good to hear, man. That means a lot to us. Now, another one that is great for you, for anybody who is suffering for such conditions, is cinnamon. Okay, I'm
Hmm.
sure you speak about cinnamon as well because it helps balance blood sugar. So you could, whenever you're making a body oil for yourself, you could make it with some geranium, so it smells yummy, and you can add a little bit of cinnamon in it. So it brings in that really nice spicy sort of flavor, which you can use. It'll help with blood circulation and regulating blood sugar. So that'd be great.
And I think
Okay.
cinnamon brings you and connects you back to a lovely smelling bakery. And I feel what bakery does it to you is that you smell all these good things. I'm just connecting why these all
Yep,
smells
yep.
can be, for somebody who cannot understand. Like I never understood ki essential oils, what would they do? I mean, what is the relation? And then I'm just trying to connect back with the people who do not understand what essential oils could do is that if you smell, a pleasant smell that you like, say, a
Mhm.
baking bread or a cake, it gives you a very nice, your mood turns on and you want to eat that cake, right? This is
Yep, yep.
similarly like I'm trying to tell you that, okay, when you think about essential oil, you know that, okay, this is the part of the routine that I would really like. I'm going to be stress free. And you get used to it every day. You would like that part of the routine and you would want to go back and do it every day. You don't want to skip it. So
For
probably
sure.
that is something
It
that
becomes
people,
like a self-care ritual, this time with yourself, and that's amazing. Okay,
yes.
one more thing was hirsutism, which I read. So I went through that post that you had put up, and I
Hmm.
looked up all the symptoms over there, and I went back to my there's a forum where I'm studying. There's an aromatherapy forum, so you could put in questions and check everybody's posts. So what I saw was using some lavender and tea tree with some aloe is known to work. There's almost like 50 to 60% cases have seen a change in hirsutism. So you should check that out. Again, I'll
So
send
how
all
do
of this
you,
to you.
so when you say aloe, I think there are a lot of varieties of aloe. So when you say aloe, does it mean like the plant that you grow,
You
and
can
those are,
definitely use that as well. You can definitely use that as well.
okay,
Absolutely no problem. You should just trust the source that you're getting it from.
okay, okay.
Okay. So now the last part, actually the second last part that I wanted to talk about was also um, the a lot of other products that we are all using have a lot of um, endocrine disruptive chemicals in them.
Yeah.
Okay. Which is becoming a major problem, whether it's a cleaning supply, whether it's the products we use in our face, in our hair, in our shampoo. And a lot of that is also a part of this foul soup, that this toxicity soup that we've all become a part of.
Yeah.
So using essential oils again connects you back to nature. Try and connect more to natural vendors. Try and find whatever. I'm not talking about my brand. I'm saying that it's becoming more conscious about what you're applying, what you're eating. It's generally like trying to understand that everything that you're applying on yourself is making an impact in your life. If you're using an air freshener in your house, know that if it has chemicals in it, it is making an impact on your life. So yeah, that.
Yeah.
So now we
Yeah.
can talk about authenticity of the essential oils if you like. I'm just hurrying up because you said it's ending, so I'm going quick.
So we have another 5, 7 minutes because I want to answer the questions also. So take your time, like
Super.
feel
Okay, so
free.
I need to. I have like time related anxiety, so I'm just like rushing
No,
through this.
that's the last
So
thing.
that's why I was here at 5:15 dot. Okay, but yeah. So okay, so talking about authenticity of essential oils, there is no governing body that is handling essential oils as for now. Okay, I want you all to know that there is no governing body. Now, people across the world who use a lot of essential oils usually buy them from their own aromatherapists. Okay. Um, you need to read up about the brand that you're buying from. Reach out to them, ask the questions. I mean, if it's anybody who's selling genuine stuff today, is going to respond to you. Okay. And it makes a big difference about the energy of the product that you're getting. Um, read up about the brand and then trust your inner judgment, whatever your inner judgment is. That's my really good friend Naitara is here. She's a really nice natural skincare brand. Then essential oils always come in dark bottles. Okay, make sure that this is a simple thing to know whether about the authenticity of an oil. If it's in a plastic bottle or it's a opaque bottle, know that they don't know much about essential oils. Okay, and therapeutic grade that is written on a lot of essential oil bottles is actually a marketing gimmick. There is nobody else that there is no such certification which says it's therapeutic grade or not. So mostly reach out, read reviews. Now we all understand a fake review from a real review. It's quite, I mean, when you trust your inner compass, you get an idea about it. So I think
And I
that's
think
what.
what I feel is that when it comes to essential oils, as you mentioned, right, for people who have just joined us in the middle, is it is not about how pricey it is, because the bottle that you are going to get is going to last you for a couple of months. So if you see that usage versus that bottle is going to be okay in terms of cost, it's just like an
Yep.
investment for your health. And what I have found that in the malls like in Delhi and Gurgaon, I'm talking about the NCR, I see so
Hmm.
many people selling fake essential oils in plastic
Yep.
bottles, and they're like, madam, ye, आप diffuser, like they use the diffuser and try to sell it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
But I
yeah, yeah.
found them, I have been there, I've used them, and I've found them to be fake. You just smell it and you know that
Yeah.
these are fake essential oils. So
Yep.
the tips that you shared, like looking for the glass bottle, the dark
Hmm.
bottle, and I think there is one nozzle, a nozzle like a drop where the
Yes,
drop
it'll
comes
have a
out.
dropper. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So
It
it
should
has
have a
to be
dropper.
like completely sealed. Like there should not be
Yeah.
like areas where the smell could come out. So it has to be
Yes.
sealed properly. So look out for these tips.
Yep. And essential oils. Sorry, I got lost in chain of thought and got completely carried away with what I was going to say.
Sorry about it.
um, um, okay, I'll get back to it when I remember. Okay, so there's just one tiny aspect of it that I discussed with you also that I wanted to connect to. Now, I don't know how many of you believe in this, and uh, there's a lot of study now and a lot of science that is coming about on how a lot of repressed emotions are causing a lot of these physical issues in our lives. Okay, I don't know if you guys have watched Heal on Netflix. You could go ahead and watch it. It's a really good documentary that will help you open up about these aspects. There are a few writers I can speak about. There's this book called Mind Over Medicine. There's this author called Joe Dispenza. He's a doctor. There's Dr. Bruce Lipton, who speaks about the biology of belief. um, a lot of such issues stem from emotional repressions. It could be abuse in childhood. It could be somebody who told you that creativity is not good for you. You shouldn't express yourself creatively. It's a world where men and women are equals now. You have to go out there and get a job and be you don't know what was a small thing that somebody you look up to said to you and the impact it had on you. Now, shutting down creativity seems to be one of the big emotional patterns that a lot of women who have or diagnosed with PCOD, PCOS, etc., seem to have. Okay. Another issue is about stepping into our feminine aspect. Okay, which is something which is so hush hush. Okay, there's so many things that are portrayed on us. For example, the media will only show you these skinny women, or everywhere that you look,
Yeah.
there's just fair, skinny women. Okay, wherever you look, whichever part. India is such a large country where we have so many different color
I
complexions. We're literally like
completely
a
agree
color
with
palette.
you. Yeah.
But wherever you go, you will see these fair faces, super skinny. So you are every day being told not to like yourself, that you're
Yeah.
supposed to look like that, but you're not good enough. Okay, that's one aspect. And then the society, it's
I
very
love
clear.
how
I'm sorry.
I love how you're raising these questions, because I think majority of the women that I speak through my reversal program also, that body image issues are immense. Like,
Yep, yep,
uh, even if you're skinny, why don't you put on some weight? Even if you're,
yep,
healthy, why don't you reduce your weight? And that
yep.
sort of, becomes like a root factor of your stress. And you're like, I want to lose weight, I want to lose weight, I want to lose weight. While there are
Always. We're
women,
never happy with how we look. It's not funny, you know. This aspect in the society, right? Society is always they. I mean, sorry. I mean, I hate to say it, but we live in a repressed society for women. It's the truth. I don't want to talk about this anymore. The other aspect is, you know, the whole society, family, societal. There are a lot of things we hear about how you're supposed to be as a woman, right?
Yeah.
But unfortunately, we haven't really gone and figured out who we are. And that's where all of this magic comes from. When you start connecting inside and seeing who you are beyond what people asked you to be. You know,
Yeah.
to be the शादी नहीं करेगा कोई तुमसे, nobody's gonna marry you if you do this, if you do that.
Yeah,
All
25
this
साल
is
में
in our
शादी कर
minds.
लो and you
How
know
will you
and
have kids? बच्चे
yeah.
नहीं होंगे, ऐसे रहोगे तो whatever. There's so many things, and all these beliefs get stored. Okay, there's a lot of shame. There's a lot of
Hmm.
shame behind periods. Okay, you're made to hide it. Oh my God, dirty, don't enter the temple, blah, blah,
Yeah.
blah. Lots of such stuff which is playing around with our minds and makes us disassociate with our most beautiful reproductive aspect, which is from where creativity into the world comes. We create through there, right? Creative expression comes to this world exists because of that aspect of our lives, and we are made to shun it. No, not made to. Nobody's doing it on purpose. It is just being. Maybe this is the call. You know, this is a call for us to wake up. There's a call for us to connect back. There's also a lot of sexual repression. So there's lots of different aspects. Now there's small things you can do for this. I don't know, get an adult coloring book. It's a very small mandala coloring book which you can just start. You could take prints off the internet if you right now can't order it off Amazon and just start doing that. It'll help you connect back. Do some chakra meditations. I'm not saying believe in the woo-woo. I'm not saying any of that. This also comes from our Eastern philosophy, right? Yeah, and citrus oils actually are really good for unlocking creativity. So oils like orange, petitgrain, lemon, and they diffuse beautifully with geranium. Like they're absolutely stunning with geranium. Diffuse some of that, do some coloring, put your feet in, I don't know, some in some bath salt and essential oils, and connect back to what it means to be a woman. As women,
I love
it,
how you said that, you know, that how it sort of it's important to connect back to our femininity. A lot of women who struggle with infertility, right?
Mhm.
Uh, just, I mean, this is what I tell them also, is that until and unless you don't create that healthy space inside you, you cannot
Yep.
reproduce a healthy person, because
Yeah.
this is probably a sign which tells that, you know, you are not ready for it. And how you
Mhm.
become ready for there are certain things that you need to connect back, maybe something that, you know, you need to start listening to your body more, eating right, or whatever your body is demanding. So I feel with PCOS, everybody's need is different. For me, probably my stress causing factor could be a diet, but for somebody else, it could be a suppressed stress factor that you said,
Yep.
could be past
Yep.
trauma, or could be anything else. So beautiful thoughts, Shubra. I think
Yep.
whatever you were saying and connecting back to, you know, the oils and how you use them in your self-care routine, probably giving yourself that time in the 24-hour clock. What is that time that you would you know, give back to yourself, is the thought that, you know, we would like to leave our audience with, is, you know, from my end.
I think first thing in the morning and the last thing before you go to sleep. Like you
Yeah.
need to give that time to yourself. You could do a small meditation. You could apply some essential oil. If you're anxious about something, just like I said, the five, whatever the thoughts are, just breathe 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Smell some essential oil, or just breathe through them. Okay, just meditate a little. In the night, you could do some chakra meditation. Like this is from our Eastern philosophies, right? I'm not talking about something woo-woo that's come from the West. If you're religious, I don't know. If you're not spiritual, whatever, you can find whatever link you want to it, but these meditations, they really help in clearing stuck energy. And we come from the land where people come from places from everywhere else to understand these things. So it's important
Yeah.
that we try and understand this wisdom that is there from our ancestors. I also think it's super important. I don't know. It just suddenly popped up in my head, but it's a good thing to try and connect back to your ancestors, women who have been around, because of whom we have all of this freedom today. They fought for us to be where we are today. Let's connect back to them. Let's connect to our beautiful feminine energy. And yeah, that's with some Clary Sage, because I think that's actually the fantastic oil to connect back to your feminine energy. it really helped me a lot. Yeah.
That's amazing. So, Shubra,
Yes.
I think that at the end of the session, is there something else before we get on to the, conclusion bit and final
No,
thoughts?
man. This is all. Everything I had written down, I have said. So I'm on point with my time
That's
anxiety. And
that's
I mean,
good.
it was a real pleasure. Yeah.
So
Go
finally,
ahead.
like, what are those five essential oils, the topmost you want to leave people with so that they can research more about when it comes to hormonal imbalance?
Clary sage, thyme, geranium, lavender, lang lang. Fine.
Okay,
Best. Okay.
that's
I think
amazing.
these are the best. Yeah.
Thank you
Yeah.
so much, Shubra. I think
It
this
was a
was
real
one of
pleasure.
the most informative sessions because people don't talk about it. And I really, I'm grateful that you shared all these, very, very useful tips with our viewers. And I hope that
Yep.
we, work on our blog very soon and come out with more such tips that people can refer back
Mhm.
whenever they want. So we'll be in touch. And for guys who ever missed the first part of the session, any which ways, I'm going to be putting the recording on the YouTube channel next week. So please stay tuned and follow Miraki and PCOS to get more such updates. Thank you, Shubra, and you have a lovely
Thank you
day.
so much. Such a pleasure talking to you. Bye.
Same. Bye.